Hey guys, so I know that I don't normally do Dragon Ball Fighter stuff, but I've been playing it a little bit on and off stream recently, so I did want to make a tier list, mostly just for having fun. It's not particularly who's the best in the game, although I do kind of rate it on that. It's more just about who's fun to play, who's fun to put on a team and interact with and stuff like that. So please understand, these are just my opinions. Basically, every character is viable in the game, so it doesn't really matter who you pick, and as long as you have fun, that's all that really matters. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the list, and if you guys want to watch me, please subscribe to my Twitch. It is in the description. My Twitter will also be there, where I announce streams, and I also announce on Discord. And so if you guys want to join my Discord channel, I do have one set up, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So thanks everyone. Hope you guys enjoy my tier list, and I hope to talk to you guys about it soon. All right, hello everyone. So most of you probably don't know this, but I actually enjoy playing Dragon Ball Fighters. I think it's a really fun game. I think it's for the most part, I think it's a pretty balanced game. But I still want to make a tier list because I think I've seen a lot of tier lists where it's the top players and they're thinking, okay, who's the best for a competitive team and stuff like that. I want to make a tier list where it's basically just who's the most fun to play in the game versus who's actually decent at a competitive level. So the up down on here will be the competitiveness. So it's for example, where's this guy? This guy is actually decent to play. He's really good. He's in the majority of top teams in professional play, but and I would say he's probably here because he's not super hard to play. I would say he's kind of fun to play, but he doesn't really have any gimmicks. He's very straightforward. The only thing he has is lariat into double super. So I mean, I don't think he's brain dead, but he's really good and he's pretty simple to play. You can pick him up really fast, and he fits into any team. So now that I got the explanation out of the way, let's actually place this guy where I think he goes. I think he goes probably, maybe there's fine. Yeah, probably there. Okay. So Bardock's is, again, really good. He can double level 1 super off of himself, which is interesting. His, I forget the name of it, but his quarter circle forward R2 is the invincible super. Invincible level 1 super, which I think is the only one in the game. I think there's one more, but it's still really good because you can just fucking spam that shit. And yeah, he can combo off himself. He goes into any team, blah, 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 blah. So he's just really good. Let's go to the other troublemaker for me, which I hate this character so much. He's still really good. I saw a tier list there. It was if this was a top tier, low tier, has faults and well-rounded. Somebody put 16 down here, which I definitely don't agree with. I think 16 is probably majorly brain dead. He has one basic combo where you just it's the same combo over and over and over with very little changing, and so I think he's relatively brain dead. You learn that one combo and you're probably good for the majority of your game. 16 is also still really good even after the nerfs, so I think he's yeah, I don't know. You know what he's gonna do, and it still makes it's still hard to play against it. Let's see here. Let's just go down the line here. Krillin. I think Krillin has some fun gimmicks. I don't think he's that good. So I'm gonna put him here, I think. Maybe here. I don't think he's that good because he's got stubby neutrals. He has beam, which he can hit confirm off of. The Senzu thing for his assist is really bad. Or well, I don't know about really bad, but it's really hard to use correctly. And I think that's it's cool, but it's not super useful. It's not something I want to be playing around per se. So, and I know he's also just not a very good character relatively. So, let's pull out Majin Buu because I have no idea where the fuck this guy goes. I've seen some of his stuff, and between these three, all the Majin characters, his seems the most honest, I think, is what they use in fighting games. I kind of know what he wants to do. He's just gonna explode and make shit candy. He's very true to his character in the show. So I would probably put him actually, I think he's decent. I think he's actually decent. So I'm gonna put him here. Kid Buu I know is insanely good. He's probably one of the top 5 characters in the game right now. I actually think his assist is insanely cool. And I know he has some really bullshit ways to deal with playing the game, and he used to be able to get you from mid-screen into your face, and it was some down quarter circle forward M stuff, and it was just like insane. You just fucking ground pound your ass all the way to him, which I think is cool, and I'm glad they nerfed it. I also know he's still really good, so I'm gonna put him probably like here. And then 21, I know got nerfed. I know she's not as good anymore. I still think she's okay. I think she has some really cool gimmicks. I personally find her really fun to play. She has a really cool... both of her level 3s are really cool. And I like that both of these people have... like both like Majin Buu and Ender 21 have the like, candy beam thing where they like... if it kills someone, you just eat them. You like pop them, you turn them into a donut, and then you just nom them, and then finish them off, and then there's no body. It's great. Not to mention her stealing stuff is like... it's really cool, and I think it's a cool thing to play around, and she also had the first... has no relevance on anything whatsoever, but she also has the first touch of death that was found in the game. So I personally really like playing her. So I think she's not as good as Boo. I would probably put her like right here maybe. All right, my other boy Piccolo, who has had some good showings at tournaments thanks to Hook Gang God, and I think that there's one other person that plays him. I can't remember his name, but Hook Gang God is the one I'm thinking of for the most part. However, I don't actually think he's good. I think he's probably right around this line. I think he's probably mid-tier. I think he has really fun gimmicks. With the Hellzone Grenade, I know is like decent tech, and the grabbing I think is actually really cool. I think if you learn to play around it and you're like really good at it, you can have a lot of fun. And so I think he's probably like probably here. Yeah, probably here. Okay. Let's go down. Super Saiyan Goku, I know, has been extremely good so far. He's come into a lot of tournaments as part of a team, especially with 16. He's a very straightforward character, so I know he's somewhere up here. He's also a very easy character to get into, very easy character to utilize. He can do double level 1 supers. With his quarter circle forward R1 at the end of an air combo, and then I think you can tilt it down, and then you quarter circle forward R2, and it teleports under the person, so he gets hit with 2 Kamehamehas by the same character. It's really cool. I think for the most part, he feels really good to play, but I don't actually think that he's that hard. So, how do I... is there any way to lower these guys? I have to... hold on. Man, this sucks. Okay, whatever. I think he's probably here. I think he's a little bit harder to play. Nah. I think he's a little bit easier to play than Bardock. Bardock doesn't really have a great beam game, and Goku has an insane beam game. His resist is also a beam, so that's always good, because it covers a lot of shit. And Bardock's is not. Bardock's is the Lariat, I think. So, yeah, probably here. His level 3 is also like pretty cool, but both these guys, father and son, just Super Saiyans. All right, let's keep moving down the list here. Gohan. I haven't touched much Gohan. I haven't played against much Gohan. The one Gohan I played against, he wasn't very good at Gohan, so I kind of knocked his ass out. And from what I can tell, I don't actually think Gohan is... I know he's been run in certain teams as a point character to do a lot of corner damage and gather a lot of bar. He's also extremely good at using bar, so... I think he probably goes somewhere... I'd put him below Piccolo. And I'd probably put him like right here. I think he's probably mid-tier. He can have a team built around him and do pretty well, and I don't necessarily think that he's particularly great fun to play, but I also don't think he's... Actually, I do think he's a little bit brain dead. Now, like, looking back at it, he has a lot of one combo stuff. So I think you learn basically 2 bread and butter combos on this character, and you just spam those, and that's basically all your gameplay. But it is still, like, he's still fun to watch, and I assume he's still fun to play. He has the father-son Kamehameha, so that's pretty cool. And he's got insanely spiky hair, so, you know. Alright, Super Saiyan Vegeta. The best assist in the game, bar none. Other than that, I've been playing him recently because I've been wanting to have a dedicated anchor on my team, because Piccolo is my dedicated mid. And I'm swapping between him and Goku Black. I think that he's actually, as a character, I think that people are sleeping on him, because he's a little bit, like, he has issues, and even I can see that, even though I don't know too much about the game. But his assist is still insanely good. You can call it in neutral to cover shit. You can call it to extend a combo, to extend a block string. You can call it to extend your block string into someone and then throw them, and it's just insane. So it's very versatile. By that alone, according to most of the pros, he is just like here essentially, right? Like he's still top 10 characters just by the assist, and even after it's been nerfed. I think he's a pretty straightforward character to play. I don't actually think that there's a lot to think about. There's a lot of like doing like a lot of dragon punches and stuff, and that's basically the only mix-up that you really want to do. His overhead is like pretty telegraphed, but I actually think that he's pretty meaty, like, and not in the fighting game way. Like he feels fun to punch, you know? Like you hit something on Vegeta, and his faces on all three of his forms give off the representation of like actually having weight, which is not something that I can say about Goku, right? Like Vegeta, even though he's very simple, feels fun to play because he just feels so like epic. And I think Final Flash is a little bit more epic to Goku's level 3, which is the I gotta figure what it's called. So where he turns into the Super Saiyan 3 and then like beats you and then just Kamehamehas you. I think Final Flash is a little bit more cinematic, and I always feel a little bit better using it than using Goku's, because Goku's is very underwhelming. As far as like cinematic return versus damage, this is very underwhelming. This feels about right, no matter where it is in the combo. Frieza, again, haven't played against a Frieza player, so you'll note like Frieza, Android 18, Ginyu. That's okay. Ginyu, Nappa, like all these characters right here. There's a couple more here. I haven't really played against online, so I don't really know how good they are per se. But and Frieza too. Frieza is like another character that I think actually has a really cool gimmick. He has one of the few installs, which is a level up essentially. If you're not familiar with fighting game terms, because I sure as fuck wasn't until I started playing this game. Basically, it's a temporary power-up that you can activate. His is Golden Frieza, which is from the anime. You get it for 20 seconds. It boosts your damage, your meter gain. I feel like it buffs your range, but I don't know how it would, so I don't think it does. I know you can look it up on like Reddit, but it's actually really cool. I really like the concept, and also, it has a downside, so when you come out of Golden Frieza, you are stuck on the ground, like, heaving your heart, because he's like, oh, it's taking so much of a toll on me. And if you have an extra bar, you can activate it and cover your ass, because Sorbet from the anime will shoot out a little, like, finger pistol, which is cool. I don't think he's that good. I would put him above Krillin, but he has, like, a really kind of shitty assist, and because it's pretty useless at point blank. So like it's good at mid screen, and I think it's decent at long range, but or at like full screen, but like at point blank, it's not useful. It doesn't track the enemy, so it can actually like hit someone. Like if Frieza's here, Krillin's here, if Frieza and Piccolo are on a team, right? And Piccolo calls in Frieza's assist to hit Krillin, Frieza Blast will go like here. And I don't think that's particularly good. So I'm going to put him probably like here. I don't think he's actually that great, but I think he's very fun to play. He's fun to pick up. I had a lot of fun like fiddling around with him when I was learning the game. There's ice cream outside. Oh, dude, that sounds so good. All right. Let's pick Nappa. Nappa I know is like the worst character in the game right now, bar none. I'm sure somebody will like. I'm sure if this video gets big, somebody will be like, oh, how are you gonna say that Nappa's really good with this specific comp? But he's a character that you have to build a team around, and so if you just want to throw him into your team, you can't necessarily do that and expect to do insanely well with him, which is fine. Characters like having unique character designs are sometimes like that. I think Nappa actually has really cool gimmicks. Between the Cybermen, he has his assist is insanely useful. I won't say it's good. I think it's useful. I think it's cool. It's very Nappa-esque. His level 3 is very underwhelming in damage for how specific you have to be. It is a point-blank beam Uh, so his level 3 is, I forget exactly who he uses. I think he might use it to kill Piccolo in the anime. But essentially, he winds up and he does a punch to the gut, and then he spits a laser beam out of his mouth. And so he's like, and like laser beam. So, it's super hard to use that because it also is pretty hard to combo into it, honestly. Strictly by himself, he needs to be run as like a point or a mid. And his Cybermen are really cool, but also very specific use and just apply pressure. So I'd probably put him down here. But he still is yeah, here. I think he's really cool gimmicks. I don't necessarily think that he's super fun to play. He's a little bit too slow for my taste, but if you're coming from another fighting game where it's a little bit like more it's not quite as quick paced. So like if you're coming from Soul Calibur, if you're coming from maybe Tekken, which are not necessarily as fast paced as other anime fighters or as anime fighters, Nappa might be a good pickup because he kind of fills that role. He still like keeps up, but he feels very graceful, I guess is the best way to put it. He's not flashy, he's graceful. And his Cybermen are like pretty cool. Android 18, I think she's decent. I don't necessarily think that she's one way or the other. I think she's probably leaning a little bit more towards fun to play as opposed to brain dead. And because their stuff was 17, like a lot of her like combo moves and stuff, they're cool, but they're just kind of part of a rotation. You don't really have to think about it. I think she applies really good pressure on her own. She has a lot. I think her auto combo already has a low-high mix-up in it. That being said, it's extremely easy to block, and the only 18 players that I've gone up against have used the exact same combo time after time, and you can, I won't say pretty easily punish it because I don't think my experiences are good enough to say like, oh, this is easily punished at top tier tournament play. But I think there's a reason that you don't see her. I don't think she's particularly great at anything, and she's fun to play for a little bit. I don't think she's a fun person to play overall. Ginyu has an insanely cool gimmick. With the body change and the Ginyu Force. I think both of those are really cool gimmick. Both those are really cool gimmicks to have, right? Like, as far as like having gimmicks to fuck around with, those two are insanely fun. Not to mention, body change can swap your character with any character or with another character that your opponent is using, and then when they get the Ginyu body, they can't use the Ginyu Force. That is an extremely cool gimmick. That is. There's an ice cream truck outside. Hell yeah. Alright. That's an extremely cool gimmick. Right? Like, that is so cool. Because it's like, okay, it's rewarding you for using his gimmick, right? And now, your opponent has this useless fighter. You could swap out, like, you could snap out, when you swap, you could snap out the Ginyu you just gave them. That's at, like, 2 HP. And get into their other fighter. Now, his assist is kind of shitty. And you're fighting this other fighter, and he has this other character that's completely useless. I think it's awesome. Not to mention, when you do his level 3, I think for an extra bar, it might be 2 bars, you can do the injure yourself that Ginyu did in the anime to try to get to Goku, which I think is super cool. Like, that's, it's perfect. I love it. It's such a great character. It's too bad that he's bad. It's too bad that he's bad. So, I think... Actually, he has been seeing a little bit of play in tournaments, but not too much. So I think he's probably right around. I think he's actually above 21. Now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm gonna put Boo up here and Piccolo up here. I think that there's like a far. I think that they're definitely above these guys. Okay, Trunks. Trunks is very gimmicky, I would say. Like he's not a simple character by far. I'd say he's actually I think he's really fun to play. I suck dick at him, and he's had some showing at tournaments. Mostly as a mid character who could use up a lot of meter. His level 3 is also a point blank throw. Hey, just like this guy, but it's unblockable, so it's actually a throw. It's a command grab, and it does a shit ton of damage. And oh god, who did he use it to kill? I'm trying to think of who he used to kill in the anime. I think it was. Might have been Jiro. I don't know, but he like grabs them and tosses them above him and just like above in the air. Really cool. His sword feels pretty good. Gives him a little bit extra range to work with. His burning attack is on par with, you know, what you'd expect from this game. It feels very good to use. He has the move that he used to kill Frieza as part of his basic combo. As that's one of, or not part of his basic combo, it's part of his basic rotation. So that's like that's a move you can use whenever you want. It's really cool. And I think he's actually semi-decent. I would probably put here. Yeah, that's probably good. Okay. Cell. Cell is still, even after his nerfs, is still insanely good. People at top tournaments have been taking him out of their team because he's not as good, but he's still insanely good. I would put him a little bit over here. I don't think he's quite as brain dead as Bardock, but he uses one rotation essentially to lock you into like a damage. His assist is still a beam, still really good. His level 3 is a Kamehameha, which is like kind of uninspired, but what else are you gonna do? You're just gonna make him blow himself up. His beams are very Cell-esque, if that makes sense. Like his energy attacks, or he doesn't shoot an energy attack directly across the screen. He shoots it at a angled downward, right? Like it's like pew, 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 pew. And I think that that's very Cell-esque. The rest of his kit, he's very fast, he's very mobile. He's pretty good, honestly. Like it's hard to go wrong with Cell at any point in your team. But he did just get nerfed, and a lot of people are taking him out of your team. So just keep that in mind. All right, Bluku. Where do I put this guy? I've been messing around with this guy a little bit because I like how powerful he feels, but at the end of the day, he's very he doesn't have any energy. He doesn't have any neutral energy blasts, which is kind of an issue. I find his auto combos do have a low high in them, which, if you're bad like me, hits you every single fucking time, and it feels so bad. Feels so bad. So, I would probably put him. I'd probably put him like here, maybe. Is there any way to? Okay, whatever. I guess that's fine. Yeah, he's probably like mid tier. He's fun to play. Blue Vegeta, I think, is actually fine. He looks. I haven't played him much. I've played against him a few times, and every time you get pummeled by Blue Vegeta, it looks so fucking cool. It's almost hard to be mad. So, his level 1 is the one where he like grabs you and then just starts pounding the shit out of you. He has a Final Flash as his level 3, which is a little. I want to say it's a little uninspired, but I think it's fine. But I think it's. I do think it's fine. And for the most part, he feels strong. He's fun. He feels much like another Vegeta. So I'm gonna put him. I know he's a little bit under. He has actually seen some play at some tournaments in like top 16s and stuff. I don't necessarily think he has great gimmicks. I think that they're okay. So I'm gonna put him like maybe here. I think both the blue characters are like pretty close together. Yamcha. I'm so torn on Yamcha because I personally hate playing against this character because there's so much you have to think about when you're fighting against him. But I think that means that he actually has pretty good gimmicks. I don't necessarily think that he's like insanely top tier, but he is in several of the top 8, top 16 teams, and so you have to like kind of take that into consideration of him actually being decent. He has good solo pressure. He makes an insanely good anchor. He uses meter relatively well. He has cross-ups for days because his 2H is the most annoying shit in the game because the hitbox is just like you have his foot, he fucking like jump high kicks. That's more like a jump front kick. But he like jump front kicks and then his foot has an extra foot length and it's just like whoosh. So fucking stupid. It's so stupid. But he is like he's pretty cool. Like if I'm gonna be honest. And the fact that he can level 1 into level 3 if you play him correctly, I think is extremely cool. I'm gonna put him like here. I don't actually. Yeah, that's probably right. Um, his assist is actually. Oh, actually, his assist is insanely good too. Oh wait, shit. It's very unique because it's not a beam assist or an energy blast assist like this, but it's still insanely cool and very useful for block strings. So actually, I'm gonna put him here. I think overall he's a better character than Vegeta, and he's probably more fun to play too. I personally have more fun with Vegeta, but I think overall this character has more to offer as far as like versatility. But his assist is just not quite as good as Vegeta's. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about. I haven't talked about assist for a lot of these guys. Okay, 18 sucks. It's just a barrier. Frieza, I did talk about Frieza's. Talked about Krillin's. 21's is her quarter circle forward energy, which is she jumps up and does like 3 energy blasts downward. It's okay. I don't think it's particularly great. Another one that will be coming up soon, like that, is Vegeto. Blue Jita's is a big bang attack, but it's a very slow big bang attack, so it's not super good at applying pressure because you have to apply it, or because you have to activate it so early. And Goku's, I believe, is a kick. It's like a sliding kick, which is situationally insane, but also kind of shitty. But like situationally insane, but for the most part, not super good. 16s is this stupid fucking bullshit, like fucking AoE right in front of you. It's so dumb. Hitbox is insane. Anyway, I hate 16. Boo's is actually really cool. It's a volleyball of energy that he throws. Not really volleyball, but like he shoots out an energy beam or energy ball, and it hits you on multiple fronts, and you have to block it all. And it's extremely good for extending block strings. That's why people are picking him up even after the nerfs. So good. Boo's, I believe he chucks. If I remember correctly, Boo's is chucking some gum. I actually don't know Boo's. Now that I think about it, I actually don't know Boo's assist. I believe he chucks gum at someone, and if they don't block it, they get wrapped up and stunned. But I could be wrong. Piccolo's is a homing energy ball, and it's okay. It can be super dash through, so it's not really that good. And Nappa's is an explosion. It's a squirt circle energy forward. Alright, moving on to Tien, who has seen a lot of play recently as a mid, even though he's an insanely good anchor. He plays with energy really well. He's insanely good by himself. He does have to sacrifice health for a lot of damage for most of his supers, so that is kind of something to worry about. But with sparking, you can get that back. Not a big issue. He applies really good solo pressure. His assist is a beam assist, but kind of a really shitty one. It's a single hit beam assist. You don't paw someone with a finger, and it's okay. I don't necessarily think that he's like necessarily up here, but he has been seeing a lot of play in tournaments. He's probably like right about here, if I had to take a guess. He's pretty good. Gotenks. Okay, so Gotenks is like up here, right? Like, actually probably like right here. If I had to like take a guess. Although he's more like this, right? So Gotenks is first off, his assist is the what is it called? It's like super energy donut. I forget the exact name of it. But he like it's the move where he like creates an energy ball with his hands and then extends it to make it like a circular like donut shape, and then puts it around someone and closes it so they can't move. He used it against Boo. I think it was against Super Boo before he absorbed Gohan. And it had to be Bin because Gohan fought him. Okay. I think before he absorbed whatever. I don't quite remember. I think it was after he absorbed Piccolo. Anyway, so that's his assist. It's super good for applying pressure. Super good for extending block strings. Basically, it's just good in any team. It's much like Vegeta, where it's just good in any team. I guess like father, like son. By himself, he applies a lot of solo pressure. His neutral is actually insanely good because he has a beam. Both of his supers, I think, are very Gotenks-esque in their like design. I think they're very silly. I think they're very fun. Both of his level 1 supers are ghost supers, which is kind of meh. But the fact that one of them, when you activate it, the ghosts track your opponent on both, but one of them, the ghost will not go to your opponent until you activate them, and there's one for each face button, so it's like light, medium, heavy, special. That is super cool. It's super fun gimmick. You can apply an insane amount of pressure by only spamming like light and medium and having one extra, and I think that's just super cool. Yeah, for the most part, he's like one of the most well-rounded characters in the game right now. He's insanely fun. He's insanely good. I personally don't play him because I don't necessarily like Gotenks, but if you want to pick up two characters that are like insanely good on any team, just fucking pick up any of these top 5. Probably like, I don't know. He's fun. Oh, and his ultimate, his level 3 is a super boo boo volleyball where he fucking puts his opponent into an energy ball about this big and bounces it up to himself by teleporting. So he bounces it, teleports up, preps it, and then teleports up again and spikes it to the ground. Doesn't do an insane amount of damage, but it's super fun to watch. So, and if you have Piccolo on your team, Piccolo will set for the spike. So, you know, just some synergy. All right, Adult Gohan, again, actually decent. I think Gohan actually has a really cool gimmick. Oh fuck. Okay, is there any way for me to hold on? Is there any way for me to? Damn. Okay, I actually do not know what the fuck these do. I thought those were like, you know, how do those pop out? But like whether they would go above stuff, but it's not. Sad. Anyway, let's see here. So I think Gohan he's been making a lot of the top teams. He's usually really good on point. As soon as you unlock, so for those of you who don't play the game or who don't know, Gohan has his level 1 release is much like Cell's in that it's an energy ball around himself, and quarter circle forward are 1, I think. The difference is that Gohan unlocks his potential every single time you do it up till level 7. So you start at level 0 at the beginning of the game. As the first time you use it, you unlock level 1, and level 1 unlocks a new move, which I believe is his machine gun kick, which I think is quarter circle forward triangle. I don't know. I don't play Gohan. And when I saw the video on it, I was like, oh, I didn't actually know that unlocked a new move, but it does. His assist is an uppercut. Oh yeah, same as this guy. Same as Teen Gohan, actually. His assist is an uppercut, so I kept it consistent. But his pressure game is insanely good. He uses assist really well. He's a really good point character. His ultimate is him, Gohan, and I think Goku, if he's on the same team, all do like an insane Kamehameha. So he's good. I think his gimmicks are super cool that you get rewarded for doing specific things. And it's level 7. I believe every time you level up, your damage goes up by 10% or something. I don't remember if it's compounding or not. I don't think it is. And then I think when you hit level 7, your damage goes up from level 6 by like 14% or 15%. So overall, if you can get to level 7, you can also level up multiple times in the same super by holding down the button. So if you have 7 key blasts, or 7 key bars, I mean, God, I can't speak. And you're doing a combo, you could potentially like drop them down to the ground, and when they're sliding and you're gonna do your level 1, you can quarter circle forward, R1, hold down the R1, and it'll just keep ticking up things. So you can potentially go from level 0 to level 7 in one combo, which is never ever going to happen, but I think it's cool that they put that in. I would actually put him here. I don't think he's insanely good. I don't think he's better than Gotenks. But I do think that he's in the top discussion for like top characters. And he's also like pretty fun to play. He feels very good. He feels very fast. He has a low high within his fucking second hit of his basic auto combo, of his light auto combo, which is really fucking hard to deal with if you're bad like me. So I think he's good. Yeah, I know he's good, and I think he's pretty fun to play. Okay, Beerus. So, Beerus has so much flavor that it's almost hard for me to do this, but he's so fucking bad. He's so bad. He needs teams built around him because his neutral is not very good. He has no beam, which kind of hurts him at long range. And his gimmick, his super fucking cool gimmick, which I love, and I hate that I don't want to put in the time to actually get good with him because of how bad his gimmick is. Are these little orbs of destruction that he puts out. They look like atoms, purple atoms, and the issue that they have is that they can be super dashed through for nothing. You could spend all your time setting up these fucking energy balls, and your opponent can just super dash through it, and you're like, well, fuck. There goes my entire gimmick. I think his gimmick is super cool. I think it plays to Beerus super well. I wish there was something. Like, if they got hit by multiple energy balls, orbs of destruction, they couldn't super dash through it, or they still took damage, like reduced damage or something. You know, like, I wish there was some reason to play him. But at the end of the day, like, the only reasons to play him are that Beerus is your favorite character, and like, that's not necessarily good enough. His gimmicks are super cool. I hope they buff him in the future. His level 3 in particular, if you hit either Goku Black or Zamasu with it and kill them, you just disintegrate their asses. And that is super fucking cool. Like, that is insanely cool. I can't even begin to describe how cool that is. So, but I definitely over here on the fun scale, because I think that there's a lot to, like, think about. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of setup, and like, if you get good with him, I'm sure that you could make things work. Sonic Fox played him at tournaments, so obviously he's not like insanely like unplayable, but his gimmick definitely needs something about it to be played at a casual or like a Derek level, right? And so I have to kind of put him down here. He's probably like, I'd say he's just under Krillin. Maybe a little above Krillin. I think his gimmick is a little bit better. But probably over here. I think he has a really cool gimmick. Alright, Goku Black. So, Goku Black is a semi-decent character. I don't think he's particularly great, but he's not bad. His level 3 does a little bit too little damage to feel good, as I put it. Like, it does okay damage. It's fine. It looks super fucking cool. The first time I ever saw Goku Black was when my friend played against me. I just bought the game like the day before, and he used Goku Black, and he level 3'd me, and I was like, what the fuck is that? That's so cool. It looks super cool. It doesn't do anywhere near enough damage for how cool it looks, but I understand that it has to be balanced with the gameplay, blah, 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 blah. And he has beam. He has beam assist, which is insanely good. Oh, I don't even remember. I didn't mention Beerus assist. I actually don't remember what it is. Okay. It must not be very good. I'm guessing that's a fact. It's probably not very good. He probably chucks an orb of destruction at them or something. He has a beam assist. Goku Black has a beam assist, which is really good. His two-hand, not two-hand, his down heavy 2H, that's why I said two-hand, is insanely good. It is, like, fuck, it is so good. You could be standing like a full person away from the enemy and still hit them. That is how fucking good it is. His aesthetic overall is very cool. He's one of my anchors for most of my teams. I just think he's a cool character overall. You could also kind of place him into any team. He does well by himself. He applies really good solo pressure. He's not insanely good. He's not like, top 10 characters, but he's decent enough. And I probably put him here. He's fun to play. Most of his attacks feel pretty good. He's got a cool aesthetic with the slicer thing. And his level 3 feels awesome. And I would not, like, there was a compilation, I think, of all the times that Bardock level 3 supered at one of the most recent tournaments, and it was like 30 minutes long. I would not mind sitting through 30 minutes of this glorious level 3. Alright, so let's talk about his better half, Zamasu. So Zamasu, for those of you that don't know, is this character, and essentially a green version of himself. It's a super long story, but it's two of the same character from two different dimensions, universes. I think they're universes. So think like, time splitting and like opening up a parallel universe, that kind of shit. And one of them is taking over the body of Goku, and they fuse together, and this is Zamasu. So first off, Zamasu applies insane pressure. His assist is... What the fuck is his assist? I don't know either. You can tell, I don't play against this character very much. It's probably okay. I know that it's not insanely good, otherwise I would know about it. It's probably some energy blast or something like that. Oh, it might be a downward energy ball. Might be it. He's a really fun character to play. He feels very godly the way he floats around. He has an ability where he can levitate, and he like can levitate around the screen and stuff. It's really cool. It's very flavorful. I like it a lot. His level 3 feels very holy. He gets like a halo and just starts summoning purple lightning down and just blows you the fuck apart. His level 1s for the most part feel okay. He has one that's very similar to Piccolo's Hell's Own Grenade, where he like, so Piccolo shoots a bunch of energy balls around you and then forces them to close in on you. And Zamasu kind of does the opposite, where he has a bunch of energy behind him and they rain down on you. Excuse me. Overall, though, I think he's a semi-decent character. I think he's below Goku Black, but I think his gimmicks are actually really cool. He has also these lightning balls that come up, like you can activate them, and they'll come up behind you, and they can apply pressure and extend block strings even when you're mid-attack animation, so they don't have the chance to retaliate in between attacks that are negative on block. So that's cool. I think he has better gimmicks than Goku Black. He also does a little bit more damage than Goku Black, and I don't think he's quite as good as far as competitive is concerned, but as far as like basic characters are concerned, he's pretty good. It is worth noting that if you're just strictly comparing these two characters, Goku Black fits on basically any team, and Zamasu needs kind of a team built around him, but he's still cool. Alright, Hit. So Hit is the reason I wanted to make this list. Hit and Beerus, because I could have just done I could have not made a fucking tier list, if I'm gonna be honest. But Hit and Beerus are the reasons I made this list. I want to make this list because this is for non-competitive, like having fun with the game. Hit is so fucking cool. He's got insanely fun gimmicks. I think it's super awesome. He also has been played on tournaments recently by Sonic Fox, so he's obviously not insanely bad. And I think his gimmicks are super cool. He's got like a shit ton of command grabs. His ultis feel very Hit-esque. They're very cool. They're very like freeze timey, and I think that's super awesome. He's probably like here. I think he can kind of fit in any team. I don't think his neutral's that bad. He does need a little bit of help getting into them, but once he gets in them, he applies good pressure. Overall, very cool character, very fun to play. He feels very, even if his attacks don't hit super hard, they feel cool, and like that's kind of why you can play characters, because they feel cool even if they're not the best. So overall, though, he's not bad. I'd say he's like probably mid tier, upper mid tier. So yeah, Brawly. Okay. I have mixed feelings about this character because I know he's not very good. However, he is a pub stomper, and that is kind of rough for like me, because I'm a fucking scrub. So he has a lot of armored attacks, stuff that is super armored, so that means it takes multiple hits to get through. He has his level 1 is actually pretty cool. His level 3 is the derpiest fucking thing in the game, because it's this big man. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, and it's like he throws out this big ass energy ball, but it's the slowest fucking moving thing in the planet, and it's very easy to punish. I don't think he's good. I think he fucking stomps scrubs like me, but he's also very I'd say he's pretty simple. I wouldn't say he's necessarily brain dead, because I think there's a lot of like understanding which move to use where, but he's he doesn't have a lot of intricate combos, and his assist is also very shitty, which is just an energy ball. So probably around here. I'd say he's probably better than Krillin, better than Frieza, better than Beerus, but less fun to play than all of them. Alright, Vegeto. So Vegeto's assist is much like 21's, where he jumps into the air, or he gets called out into the air and tosses down 3 energy balls at like 3 different angles. It's okay. It's not great. You can kind of snipe people with it. It's not great. He is very fun to play though. So trying to figure out where to put him. He's not very good. He does do a lot of damage, and he builds a lot of meter, which means that if you have a character like Piccolo, which is why I've been personally trying to run him into my, get him onto my team. They synergize relatively well, not necessarily because Piccolo covers his assist or anything like that, but because Vegeto builds a shit ton of meter and is good at using meter, but doesn't necessarily need to apply pressure, and Piccolo uses a fuck ton of meter. So I think I don't think he's very good. I think he's probably, if I had to pick, I think he's like here-ish. Uh, Maybe here. I think he's playable at top levels. I'm sure that there's like some specific reason that I'm not thinking of that he isn't played, but I'm sure he's playable. He's super cool. He's like the beam swords that you remember from Dragon Ball Z. Beam swords. And he has the final Kamehameha, which it feels very epic, deals an appropriate amount of damage for how epic it feels. Very fast. He his basic combos don't even use his hands because he doesn't want to dirty them with scrubs. So he kicks people constantly, which I think is super cool flavor. That's how Vegeto was, just super cocky and arrogant. And overall, I think it's like it fits him well. And also his in the air level 1 super is like a teleport punch to the ground, which I think is cool. It's very versatile because it tracks the opponent. So I think he's probably here. He's good. He's fun to play. He's extremely fun to play. He feels very powerful, and he feels very like, I don't know, he feels very anime, and I think that's fun. Base Goku, probably the newest anchor I think to be put into the game. Let's see, where are the DLC characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who am I missing? Oh, Base Goku. Derp. Okay. Yeah, so the only anchors in the DLCs are Base Goku, and I think that's it, actually. Yeah, okay. So Base Goku is the only anchor in the DLC, which means he's the last character to come out. He should be placed in the last character slot. You don't have to, but if you want efficiency, then you should. His assist is the third hit of his light auto combo, which is where he pushes people away with ki, and you can bounce people off of walls with it. It's very good for making space. I wouldn't necessarily say you can use it on the defensive. It comes out pretty fast, but I don't know that it actually does that much for you. You might as well just reflect. But Base Goku has a couple of things that make him an extremely good anchor, one of which is his Kaioken. So the Kaioken is this power up. It's not an install because you don't get to keep it after the super's over, but it is this insanely powerful like multiplier. Kaioken, you just start wailing on motherfuckers. They can block it, but as someone who kind of played Base Goku for a little bit of time, the mix-ups on it are pretty good. There are multiple ways to end it, such as like pressing different like R1, R2 buttons and like doing stuff like that. So you can end it with a punch, you can end it with a Kamehameha. Overall, it's a pretty good super. It's blockable if you know what you're doing, but it can be pretty fun to get a mix-up on there. And I think he's actually pretty good. I think the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb allow him to be fun to play. He's also like semi-decent as an anchor. I don't actually think he's that bad. And his Spirit Bomb. Oh, he has 2 Spirit Bombs as well. I forgot to say that. He has 2 Spirit Bombs. One of which is the like hand Spirit Bomb that kind of Yamcha kind of has a Spirit Ball, and the other is like the full-on Genkidama, like just hands in the sky, teleports to the sky. He's like, and it covers the entire screen and does like nuts damage. Like if you hit that raw level 3, it will deal like 70% of someone's HP bar. So overall, I think he's like probably here. I think that he can kind of go into any team, but his assist is very lacking. If he had a normal beam assist, he'd probably be like, oh shit, he'd probably be like here, right? He'd be above Goku Black for sure. But I think he's probably like here. All right, Base Vegeta. Base Vegeta is my pride and joy. He's the starting. So I'm trying to replace Base Vegeta with Vegeto. Jesus Christ. With Vegeto in my team currently, because my current team is Base Vegeta, Piccolo, and Goku Black. He applies insanely good pressure. I don't know if they nerfed his loops and made it impossible anymore. I can't personally pull them off, but I also haven't put in the hours and hours and hours required to like call myself certain that they completely removed it from the game. That being said, he applies really good pressure by himself. He's really good at getting across the screen and like making his way across the screen in ways that most characters can't without vanish. So between his knee drop, between his knee drop and his horizontal kick, He feels very much two character. For me, he's personally very fun to play. He feels very satisfying. His combos do a little bit less than I would like, but he also does a lot of hits and combos. And his level 3 is insanely fun to pull off, and he has a command grab where he can command grab into a level 3. So basically he walks up. If you guys have seen the anime where he kills Nappa, which is like Saiyan Saga, so it's probably within the first 20 episodes of Dragon Ball Z. Oh, spoilers. For like a 30-year-old anime at this point. So he has that combo where he can grab some, like you can walk up to somebody if you're defending, and you can command grab them into level 3 level 3 super, and it does just a shit ton of damage. It's super cool. Vegeta looks very Vegeta-ish. He's like, heh, I'm gonna kick your ass, and just energy blast into the sky. Super cool. You actually have to think a lot about his offense too, and you can get punished pretty easily. This is probably one of the best characters to start playing the game on, because not because he's good, but because you'll start understanding all the ways that you can get punished for doing stupid shit. I want to put him here, but I don't actually think he's that good. I want to put him probably here. Probably here. I think he's like in viability. I think that there are other characters that are a lot better, but I personally find him pretty fun to play. Actually, I'll put him here. Yeah, I think he's really fun to play. I think his gimmicks are like pretty cool. They're not in the other Vegetos per se. Vegetos. Jesus Christ. Vegetas. They're not in the other Vegetas per se, but overall, he's a pretty cool character. And I think that he brings a lot to the table. And he's useful. And his ultimate is, or not his ultimate, but his level 1 is also pretty good. Gallic Gun, decent. Alright, Cooler. Cooler is actually like pretty good. From what I've seen, he's a pretty straightforward character. He's a pretty straightforward big character, I should say. So like Android 16, he's very straightforward. His ultimates are pretty uninspired, I would say, as far as design is concerned. His assist, I believe, is an uppercut, and so it's a lot like Gohan, and it's useful in certain scenarios, in like applying pressure or wake up assist, but his level 1 super is cool. His level 3 super is very uninspired, and I feel like it doesn't do that much damage, and yeah, so I'd probably put him like here. I don't think he's like super brain dead, but I think he's brain dead enough to be put slightly off to the scale here. He's probably extremely fun to play. I haven't messed around with him too much, but there's not much there that would want me to play him. I don't really like playing big guys, so it's not someone that would call to me. And overall, he is better than a lot of characters, though. He might even be better than Cell, honestly. Like, if I'm going to be 100%, if you can use him, he's probably better than Cell. But Cell's a better overall character. Okay, and then last one, Android 17. Okay, so Android 17 is not very good. I'm probably going to put him like somewhere below here, or somewhere around here, I should say, below the horizontal bar. And Android 17 has the issue of like false complexity, if that makes sense. Like his basic combos and like starting up his basic combos, and like 17 has kind of this build your own combo thing where it's very cool and very crisp and it feels very clean, but that's kind of it. So a lot of like doing stupid shit is kind of it's not good. Like that's the thing, is that all these things can sometimes, like, they can give your opponents openings to punish you for them, and so doing certain combos is like not very good. And he also doesn't do necessarily like a lot of damage. His level 3 is okay. It's cool the first time you see it, and then you think, oh, this is insane, and he throws this ring of energy across the screen, which is like, it's cool, but it's not super great. His level 1 super is fucking hilariously awesome, where he teleports behind someone. He's like teleports, hits, and then teleports like axe kicks them from the sky, and then like if you kill someone, he's like smirking next to them. He's like, you know what I just did, and he like, dude's on the ground, like the enemy's on the ground, and he's just crouching next to them. That is super cool. And when he first came out and I saw what he could do, I was like, oh, this character's insane. He's like the Riven of this game. He's not like the Riven of this game. Riven has actual complexity. I think 17 just has like simulated complexity. It's cool, it's a gimmick, but it's not super good, and I don't think it actually helps your gameplay that much. Admittedly, I'm very, very open to being wrong here, but this is just my opinion. Yeah, I guess. Let me see. Is there anyone that I want to fix? I feel like this is kind of cluster, but I don't really know what to do with that. I think maybe Hit should go down a little bit. Ginyu should go down a little bit. Zamasu should go down a little bit. That's probably about right. Cell being brain dead is a little bit like it's a little bit wrong, but he also has like one combo that is meh. Like he has one combo that he constantly uses, so I kind of want to put him into brain dead. There's a lot of stuff you can do to open people up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Cell in cooler. I'm gonna put Cell here. I think he's a little bit less brain dead than I was giving credit for. Oh, and Ninja 21's assist is energy shield, and then if he hits someone, I believe, or if they're close enough, he will do an attack after that. Thing is, the energy shield is like not that great, and it's a little bit too slow in a fast-paced game like this. And then his attack is also a little bit too slow to come out because it has to wait for the energy shield. So I remember someone talking about it and just being like, it's just too slow to run to get a basic energy blast. And I kind of agree after playing after him because he feels very like you have to put him on point because his assist is like just kind of not useful. Maybe if they put the energy blast first and it was a quick startup and then it was the shield after that, so it was just kind of like if they're rushing at you, you can stop it with the shield. Sure, but I kind of agree that his assist is not very good. Yeah, this is probably about right. Most of the characters in this game are fun to play. I personally have a shit ton of fun with Bardock. He feels very strong, and even if you don't know necessarily what you're doing, he can still be a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, he is pretty brain dead. So the other thing to note is that all these characters pretty much are all viable. Like that's the fun part about this game is that all the characters in the game are pretty much viable with the right team. And even without the right team, you can still find success with them if you just want to play them. There's no real outliers that are just like so hilariously bad that you could never play them ever. I think the worst person is Nappa, and he's still fun to play, and you can find success with him, and like you can make a team around him to like cover his weaknesses. But there are certain characters that just don't have enough weaknesses that need covering. So yeah, all right, this will be my list. So if you guys have any questions, post them in the comments. Fucking at me on Twitter, fight me. Yeah, it's been a fun video. I actually want to do this again for season 2 eventually. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of video, let me know. And this has been Came in Second, signing off.